In today's day and age of old shows coming back, I have grown overly skeptical about its potential quality and uninterested in even giving it a shot. However, there is one that I'm still very hesitant to watch, but do think has a better chance of being watchable. And that is the revival, reboot, new season, whatever it's technically called, of Scrubs. Scrubs has always had a special place in my heart. I grew up with it, and it shaped a lot of my type of humor, with its just always referencing other media and general wackiness. But it also had great messaging and taught me a lot about the world and relationships and dealing with others. I have watched it over and over again and even used it to help me give advice to friends and family. The show did have its ups and downs, of course. We won't talk about season 9. The show's strengths was always the core cast of characters and their relationships, and the actors being able to be both really funny and dramatic. It was when the new set of interns were introduced in the later seasons that I thought it started to go downhill, along with JD leaving. It started as JD, Turk, and Elliot became more teacher and mentor roles, which was good as next steps for the characters and the story, but it turned into more like a passing of the torch to these just not as good characters. But all in all, it was still good, just not peak Scrubs, and I can rewatch those seasons pretty easily, you know, except for that season. So when I see the trailers and news about the new season and see a lot of the original cast are returning and it not just being a the new faces and doctors of Scrubs kind of thing, it does give me some hope. But also how much they're advertising that like the Todd and Hooch will be back does concern me. The Todd, while funny, never really blossomed into his own character too much. He was very much a one trick pony, but I mean, hey, he was a lot more involved than Hooch. I mean, I liked the Hooch's crazy joke, and it's good to see Mr. Mosby get some work after leaving the cruise line, but I really could not care less about those two characters returning. Granted, it's an opportunity to flush them out more, and maybe I will like them a lot, but really, they weren't much to begin with, and let's kind of just stick with what we know. we can. But hey, this is Scrubs. It's still set in a hospital, so there's going to be new characters coming in and out, and there should be new interns. They really should. It's only logical. But how much the spotlight is set on them, I think, will be the key. There are still avenues and stories they can tell with the original cast after all this time, but it has to be done well and not just half assed referencing itself back in the old days money grab or pressure from like the studio. All the actors do seem to have a good understanding of what made the show work, and they don't seem to have hate for the only characters that truly made them famous. So I think the performances will be there, but then it comes down to the writing. But good news about that. Bill Lawrence is coming back, and he still seems pretty sharp with the pen and the comedy given his recent success. He was heavily involved with Ted Lasso and Shrinking on Apple Plus. He, however, was also involved with the Clone High revival, which crashed and burned. So it seems like Bill still has it when he partners with successful modern TV comedians like Jason Sudeikis and Jason Segel. Two actors that have turned a lot more into writers and show creators. And while I can't know this for sure and it is just speculation, it does seem like he is maybe the polisher or the coach or seasoned mentor for writing all these shows and kind of what makes it work structurally for TV. You can see that Bill Lawrence formula that he did a lot with Scrubs and like Cougar Town in Ted Lasso and Shrinking. There is an episode long story that has conflict and lots of nonstop humor, only to come back to do a really nice character moment with a little bit of drama that has a good chance of actually having a lasting effect throughout the show. But so much of the story also obviously comes from the main faces and creators of the show, of Jason Segel and Sudeikis. So, can Bill still stand mostly on his own with the Scrubs revival? I guess we'll find out in February, but I hope he has some help. And with all this time since the last season, I hope he has come up with some actual stories. So, hopefully, with all this success, Bill's confidence has been boosted a little bit. And he has said in the past he would want to do it right and, have actual stories to tell. And with all the original cast excited and highly advertised, and Zach Braff directing some episodes, and none of the original characters seeming like they're just coming back for a paycheck after years of obscurity, there is a lot that shows that there is potential here for the Scrubs revival to actually be good. But it is also 2026 and on ABC and Hulu, aka Disney. So, I am afraid there will be DEI stuff and not the well balanced actual opposing ideas discussion that Scrubs was not afraid to tackle in the past. Like the politics episode.
Kid, his head's blown off. All for nothing.
All for nothing. My nephew Lance is over there fighting to give those people democracy.
Oh, so that's why we're over there. Here I thought it was a root out terrorist. Or was it for the oil or for Mama Hussein's secret falafel recipe? Gosh darn hard to keep track.
Dude, I hear they have laws that make women completely cover their bodies when they're out in public. The war in Iraq, try the war to C-Rack.
Don't you get it, Turk? All the terrorists want to do is kill you. They want to kill you.
Elliot, if you...
Kill you!
The network and team as a whole has a lot of power, and a lot can go wrong with like union hired writers or activist people that want the platform, not just people who either know the show, like the show, or just have good stories for the show. And you know what? I also just don't know who's actually asking for this revival these days. Maybe like 8 years ago, it would have had traction, but now, Scrubs is just kind of a fond memory that you can still binge, and I think still holds up and wraps up nicely with season 8. You can just stop there. But hey, you know what? Actually, thanks to season 9, the Scrubs fan base that is still around has had practice ignoring just absolute dog shit that has like a melted Scrubs mask sitting on top. So if this revival does suck, we can just do that again and just ignore it and go about our lives going, oh yeah, I remember Scrubs. Dr. Cox and the janitor were my favorite.